Hi there. So it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and in this video I'm going to show you how we put together May's Stamp Club cards. So if you're not familiar with my Stamp Club, we meet once a month on Zoom, and we put the cards together. And then for those people that can't make it to the Zoom meeting, I do a video of how we put the cards together. We just finished the Zoom meeting, so it should all be fresh in my mind. But let me show you first the cards we're gonna make. This was my swap, so you get 3 cards with my card club, and you make 2 of them, and 1 of them I just include in the kit. So this is the card that I made and include the kit. I call it my swap, because we used to swap, and now that we don't meet in person, I just send you the card I would have made as my swap. And then we're gonna put together these 2 here. So we're gonna start with the frame card first. And before we do anything, I wanna show you. So on this card, you can see my little flowers that are punched out. I didn't do anything to them. But in this card, I kind of took that Stampin' Write marker and did the edges. So you have to decide which way you want to do yours. But that's the 2 differences in my sample cards. And when we get to that point, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I might have got a little bit ahead of myself. So in your packet, one side, if you take to the black, has all the pieces for this card, except my bling did not come out. There it is. And then this will be the second card. We're going to set that aside for now and focus on this. I'm going to put my bling up here to the side so I don't lose it. The first thing I'm going to do is just take my black card base and fold along that score line and fold it in half. Now when I'm done with this video, I'll go on to my blog and I'll put the measurements of all the cards on there, and I will put all the supplies I use to make your packet. So if you want to repeat the cards or make them again, you'll have all the information on my blog, and that's becreativewithkathy.com. Okay, so then we're gonna take this piece here. This is a piece of basic white, and I've already run it through the embossing folder, and right now it escapes me the name of it. Tasteful Touches. I know that's the suite it goes with, but anyway, so I ran it through the embossing folder. It's all ready to go, and you can see this, the bumps are up. I'm going to turn it over and stamp kind of like on a smoother side. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, maybe you can see in the pictures, and you'll see when you go to stamp it, if it's not stamping good, you'll turn it over and stamp on the other side. And then again, I'm going to use my Stamparatus, and I can stamp it up a few times, or I should say ink it up a few times, so it probably doesn't even matter. So I have my paper on my Stamparatus. We're using a red rubber stamp, so I just have the base, a piece of grid paper to protect my surface, and then I like to use Sizzix sticky grid paper, and that's what holds my paper into place. Excuse me, my cardstock. My magnet holds my grid paper onto my base. I'm bringing a plate here and my stamp set, because we need this big flower right here. And if you'll notice on my card, I want to do the greeting about right here, so I'm going to lay it there. That looks good. I don't think you can really go wrong. We can make it really work either way. So when I stamp my flowers, or I only want the stem and the leaves. I don't want to stamp these flowers. So on our supply video, I told you I'm going to use the Stampin' Write markers, which are here, right? And I'm going to just take and color, using the paintbrush with the very light touch, the edge, color that stem of the marker, or I mean of the stamp, sorry. Now if you don't have the markers, you can also, here I just took some Post-it notes, and I have the Post-it notes that are sticky all over, and I just punched them out with a circle punch. And then I can cover my flowers like this. This is called masking, but I can mask my flowers like this, right? And then use a stamp pad, dark green or black would work, and then you ink it up, and then you remove those masks, and then you would stamp it down. That way you would only have the ink on the stem where you want it. But since I suggested we use the markers for the class today, I'm going to go ahead and just color my stamp here where I want it, and not like don't put any ink on those flowers, because when we punch the flowers, they would still show underneath our punched flowers, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna just ink up here and try not to get my head in the camera. Give it a little huff there. It gets that ink moist again so it stamps better. Like that. And then see, I'm gonna give it one more coat. This is what's nice about the Stamparatus, that as long as this paper doesn't move here, I could ink it up again. Whoop, on the side there, I totally missed on coloring that. And then just place it down. Now really the leaves are going to be covered up, so really I'm looking at the stem, and I think I'm happy. It's not perfect, but I think it looks really good. Now since we're going to use this stamp again, I'm going to go ahead. I have my chamois here. I like to cut it in half and keep it in a plastic bag, but I'm going to just clean my stamp. Squeaky clean, because we're going to need it again. That's good enough there. Okay, let me put my stamp. I'm going to just set it aside here on the case. It can dry a little bit. I'm going to take this off. There we go. So now we're going to put it on or under this frame. Now this is the Fresh Papaya. It's a brand new in color. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And did I tell you the stem I did with the, here's the ink pad, Evening Evergreen. It's another of the new in colors. But now to make this frame, I used the new, I think they're called a color contour. Oh, excuse me, they're called scallop contour dies. I took the largest scalloped one here, and I used the stitched rectangle dies and cut out that inside, I believe it was this one, and laid it when it ran it through my die machine. So you know that's how I made this frame here. And if you go back and look at my videos, there's one I like to use the press and seal when I'm doing a frame like that. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll put the link below on my YouTube video so you can see the press and seal, how I use that to cut out frames. Okay, we're going to attach this to this. So I'm turning it over. This is the back. And I'm going to lay my cardstock right there in the center. And then I'm going to hold it down with some dimensionals. And I'm going to use the corners of the dimensionals, well, I didn't on that one, to get in the corner of my cardstock and just hold it like that. Let me see if I can get this one on there better. That's better. But I'm going to use my dimensionals to hold that white piece onto my papaya, or maybe to hold my papaya onto that white piece. And then I like to put one in the center so my tummy doesn't sag. And you know, I'm going to go ahead and OD on the dimensionals, or use a few too many, and hit the sides. And then I think I'm actually going to go ahead and hit the top and bottom. I don't think I did that during our club meeting, and I think I was sorry. So I'm going to add some more dimensionals. Never have too many dimensionals. But there, now we have a perfect little framed art. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get my base out here. Now, first, before we do this, you notice that I included the inside of this piece here. Now, this is just going to be the inside of our card. And that way, when you write your greeting, it's right there on the inside. So let's go ahead and put that on the inside, and take those dimensionals off and put that on the front of our black card base. The first one I got really crooked. I'm going to try to get this one straight. I think that looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and take all those dimensional backs off. There we go. And center this on the front of my card. Looks like that. So far, so good, right? Okay, let's work on a couple other pieces of my card. So I have, from the double oval punch, dual oval punch, something like that, I've punched out a piece of just basic black and basic white. I'm going to stamp on this with some black Memento ink, And I want it to say a little card with big thanks, and that fits just perfect in this oval here. I probably should have practiced on my scratch paper, but let's see. If not, I'll turn it over and do it again. Nope, I think it looks pretty good. So we'll just take it just like that. And while I got it, I'm going to just go ahead and layer it onto my black oval here, like here. And then I'm going to just set that aside for when we're ready. So now we need flowers and leaves. We need 3 little leaves and 1 big one from the punch here. And the little strip can just fit perfect in there. This is the new In Color Soft Succulent. Love this color. Well, I think I like them all. So you might hear me say that again and again. But there, now I have 3 little flowers. Nope, 3 little leaves and 1 big leaf. Let me get all this trash out of here. And then with the Pale Papaya, this is another new In Color. Same thing I did with the frame here. I'm gonna punch out 2 of the large. Now on the strip of paper, you'll notice when you punch out, these leaves cause you to waste some paper. So I'm gonna stamp them close to the bottom of my cardstock. That helps relieve a little bit of the waste. Let me get, here's 1. And I'm even going to turn it around because now my leaves are off the edge again. And I'm trying to punch them as close as I can. So there's my 2 large leaves. Nope, I'm getting it mixed up. Flowers, leaves. Come on, Kathy. Now we need little flowers. We need 4 of those. So see, I'm going to try to go up here at the top and try to get as much or as little waste as I can. Get as much cardstock punch as I can. And then there's another one. Maybe turn it a little bit. Like I said, so I'm getting as much use out of my cardstock. That's, where are we at now? 3, we need 1 more. And just making sure that my flower doesn't have any of those little holes from the leaf that I punched the last time. Okay, we're all done with that. We have our 6 little flowers. Like I said, once again, you need 2 large and 4 small, because then we're gonna layer them. But before, and I should have done this in advance, so I apologize, but I'm going to, hang on, my bling disappeared. I'm gonna take my Stampin' Write markers. Now this is the Pale Papaya, and I'm gonna just color along those edges. And I think I'm only gonna do a couple of my flowers. Now this is what I showed you in the beginning. If you don't like your flowers with a little bit of the edge colored, then by all means, you don't have to do this. I think that looked pretty good. So, but just for save time on the video, I'm not going to do it to this. I'm turning him over as if I never colored him. But the leaves, I think you do need to. So I'm gonna take the darker, the Evening Evergreen, with that paintbrush tip, right? And just color the edges of all 4 of those leaves. And this won't take very long, so I'm gonna go ahead and color all of those. It just gives it a little bit more character to the leaf. I think they need that. The flowers seem to have enough character on their own, especially when we put those sequins in the center. And I'll try, well, I was gonna say I'll try to remember the name of those sequins, but it's all good. I'll put it on my blog. You can go to my blog. And if you having trouble finding the post regarding Stamp Club, just in the search bar, you just search Stamp Club and you'll find them. And it'll be in there. And I'll put at the very bottom of the post will be the list of everything I used to make the packets, and and it'll be the list of what you needed to do too. Hope that made sense. Okay, so I'm gonna pinch my leaves just a little bit to give them some character. This is the big one, and then with a glue dot, I'm gonna just put a blue glue dot on the back of him toward the bottom. Make sure I can't see it though. And then I'm gonna just put that on there and then just barely bend the tip so it just has a little bit of depth and character. I'm gonna shut the window here and get rid of that glare. Okay, next one, here's a little one. I'm gonna just pinch him a little bit, bend it a little bit, put the glue dot on, and then cover up that other leaf. And then the same thing with those last 2. this one here, like that. And I forgot to pinch him. Let me give him a little bit of curve. There we go. And then set him down there. It tends to get a little curve as I put them on there, as I pinch their tip. Okay, there we go, like that. So now with our flowers, I'm gonna bring in my Pierce mat here, set my flowers on here, and then I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool. Now you don't have to do it this way, but we just want to get some kind of curve to our flowers so we don't just have flat flowers. Sometimes flat flowers work, like example on the next card I did all my flowers flat, but on this one I want a little bit of curve in there. And then I am going to put a dimensional on 2 of my little flowers here and 1 of my big flower, and then layer those like that. This one, we'll put this one on top of here. This one on top of here. Okay, and then turn those all over and bring in my greeting, because I want to put some dimensionals on the back of him too, and I'm going to put dimensionals on all of my flowers and my greeting here, and that's how I'm going to add them to my card. I'm going to put, in fact, I'm going to set this aside, bring my card in. I'm going to put the largest flower on first, and I'm going to put him way at the close to the top as I can get, like that. That just leaves a little bit of extra room for these flowers here. Whoop. I think I like him that way. And then this flower right here. Now, and then we got to put our greeting. I almost forgot about our greeting real quick, and then I'll show you how we finish the card off with those little sequins. And boy, my greeting is crooked, but I'm going to just pretend like that's how I wanted it. And we'll make sure you get your greeting on there straight, and we'll do it like that. So then with these sequins, and doggone it, let me grab the package of them and see what they're called, because I love these things. I have several packages. They're the Artistry Bloom sequins. They come in blue and purple and all kinds of great colors, but I'm going to use my pick tool here and pick off that little one and set it right inside and layer those sequins up just a little bit. And then as I layer my sequins and add them on there, I'm going to tell you that I have to give credit where credit is due. And I wished I could remember her name, but I saw this card on a website, really it's a Facebook group for demonstrators, and thought it was beautiful, and I cased it, and so it's not really my original card, but now, darn it, I can't remember her name. So if I think of a name, if I find the video again, well, it wasn't a video, it was just a picture, I'll give her credit. But thanks for sharing, you great demonstrator, because that is, I'm sticking to my finger, a beautiful card. So that's what it looks like when you don't ink the edges of flowers, and this is what it looks like when you do ink the edge of your flowers. And now, like I said, if you don't have the markers, you could just take a sponge and sponge the edge of those flowers too. So there you go, there's card 1. Cute little papaya. And then let's go to card 2. So card 2 looks like this. Take everything out of our packets now. I'm going to set my bling aside so I don't lose it. And we're going to start with this piece of ribbon. This is the Evening Evergreen cardstock, again, a new in color. And this one that's been textured, we're going to use that one, and what I call the, well, looks like wallpaper, but this, the Designer Series paper, we're going to just attach this to the bottom of that piece of textured cardstock. Just like this. Layer this just right here on the bottom. Looks like that. Now, if you notice, when I tie my ribbon around there, I'm going to have my knot here to the right. So let me work a little bit, get that knot over here on the right side. I might have to move my ribbon after, but just tie a little knot here. Well, easier said than done. Looks like I'm all thumbs. There we go. Got my little knot. Kind of move that over this way. Now I'm going to set that aside. We'll see. Last time I didn't need to put a glue dot under my knot to hold him in place, but we'll see. I'm going to set him aside for now, and let's do some more stamping. So we have 3 pieces of basic white. We have, this is what we're going to stamp our greeting on. This is what we're going to stamp our flower on. And this one here is the inside. We're going to stamp on all of those. And then you have a strip here of a new in color called the Polish Pink, which is absolutely beautiful. Let's stamp on that and make our flowers first. So I make sure I have enough room for all my flowers. We only need 3 small flowers. So I'm going to just take my stamp, and now because my punch is the way it is, I'm going to make my stamp so it looks like it's standing up on those flat petals. At least that's how I look at it. And I'm going to stamp one here, and then I'm going to stamp one here. Now you'll have plenty of cardstock, but this way we know that we can get 2 flowers without those leaves getting in the way and ruining our stamped image. So I'm going to punch that guy out. Whoops, I almost put him in the wrong way. And punch this guy out. And then we just need one more. So let me find those 2 flowers. Oop. And you know what? I'm going to put my black ink is sitting out here. Let me put him away. Scariness. No, don't put him away. We still need one more flower. Duh. Okay. Here we go. That was bad. We're going to stamp one more flower right here. If you want to put some flowers on the inside, they did that at class day. You're more than welcome. Let me show you what I did to the inside of my card, and then you can decide if you want to put some of these flowers on the inside or if you want to stamp it like I did. So let me stamp or punch out this one more flower. Where did he go? Are you kidding me? Where'd my flower go? God, it's funny because you'll probably see him in the video and you're like, he's right there, Kathy, and I can't find him, so that's embarrassing, but I'm going to stamp one more. Shoot. Okay. Well, here we go. As soon as the videos, I'll probably find him, huh? I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, look, here he is. Never mind. Durr. Okay, so this is the inside of my card. Looks like this. I love this little row of flowers down here, but if you don't want the flowers, make sure you punch a couple more of these, and then you can put those on the inside of your card, and you should have plenty of cardstock left over to do that. Okay, so then I'm going to take our greeting here, and since we're using markers, I'm going to ink it up with my marker using the side. This is the thank you for everything. It's also a part of that stamp set, but I'm just going to, on the side of my marker so I don't ruin the brush tip, ink that up really well. Make sure I haven't missed anything. And then I'm either going to Huff or Darth Vader, whichever one you like to call it, re-moisturize that ink and stamp that down. I'm going to hold it there for a minute, let that ink sink in. Hopefully I have it nice and centered and straight. Oh, looks pretty good. I'll take that. Set that aside, let it dry. Now we need to put our flower on here. So again, I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus. Oh, I dropped my dies. That's all right, I'll get them later. My Stamparatus here. And I have, again, my grid sheet and my cardstock. Now my sticky grid sheet is over here, so I'm going to have to use my magnet to hold my cardstock because I like to line it up in a corner, and that's the corner I picked so it doesn't have the grid paper where I need it, or the sticky grid paper. Anyway, I'm going to lay my flower on there again. This time I'm going to lay him like in the center, smack dab in the middle. Ink him up, pick him up with the plate. And then here again, you'd have to either use the Post-it notes to cover the flowers, or you can use the Stampin' Write marker to only color the flowers, or the stems, so sorry. And my cat was in the middle of my table and I was trying to get rid of him and talk, and it didn't work. But he's gone now, so let's just keep stamping. Color just the stems, just like we did last time. looks good just like that. Little Darth Vader. Let's lay him down. Now, if he's not good, we can, since we're on the Stamparatus, we just got to lay him down again. Nope, looks good. I'm going to take this plate off. I'm going to bring in a new plate. You could also have just turned that plate over, but now I'm going to go ahead and stamp on the inside of my card. So I'm going to bring in the large basic white. Really, it's 5 1/4 by 4. It actually gets to hold on to that sticky grid paper. But then with that little strip of flowers here, I'm going to lay this down here at the bottom, which could also be the top, but I'm going to put it in the bottom. With the soft succulent marker, I'm going to ink up those flowers. And then lay that down. Nope, maybe, did I miss those flowers or I just not push hard enough? Nope, looks like I need to put a second coat on my flowers. Let's try it again now. Yep, there we go. Now we have those. Then with the dark green, the evergreen, I'm going to just take and color the center of those flowers just to give it a little bit of contrast, a little bit of life. And look how cute now that looks for the center of our card. Okay, we can put this away. I think we're all done stamping. We need to take that succulent marker again, the light one, and I'm going to color all the leaves. Just a light touch here so I don't ruin the tip of my marker. Now, if you have the end colors of the blends markers, they would work too. You just have to be careful going over the classic ink of the evergreen. It might smear just a little bit because usually we use Memento with the Stampin' Blends. I hope that's what I said. Did I say Stampin' Blends or did I say Stampin' Right markers? I'm using the Stampin' Right markers, so I don't have to be careful. And now it should just be perfect and dry right there. And then let's take that polished pink marker, and on our little flowers, we're just going to color the inside of those petals. And not the whole thing. It has this little area right here, the little small part, I guess you would call it. I'm going to just color that and give our little flowers some contour. Oops, I think that's a good color, or a good word for it. Just color the insides a little bit. And then this one. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece here, and in our kit we had a piece of here it is, succulent. That's a soft succulent. I'm going to layer this onto here. A real small border on there. Then let's fold our card base in half. Gotta love this beautiful evening evergreen color. Come Christmas time, I mean, it's beautiful now, but at Christmas, we're gonna be all going crazy over this color. And then, a little bit of adhesive on the back of our basic white for the inside. Here's too, like I said, if you want to put your little flowers, your little extra flowers on the inside, that would be beautiful, or really cute too. On this piece here, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Although on my sample card, I did not put dimensionals. Now in Club, I decided to put dimensionals. I kind of like the little pop a little bit, so I'm going to go with dimensionals again. Take this. And layer this right on the front of our card. And then we're going to layer this right here next to it. So put some dimensionals on the back of this. Try to get this one straight. Maybe use that Designer Series paper. I think that looks good right there. Let's trim our ribbon just a little bit. Let me find my scissors that I keep for, oh, here they are. I use this pair of scissors only for ribbon. I have a little piece of ribbon here so I know which pair they are, but then they're nice and sharp. They're just our paper snips, but they're really nice and sharp and will always cut the ribbon with no problem whatsoever. So those are what I call my ribbon scissors, but really they're just paper snips that I've saved because the cardstock dulls your scissors and the ribbon does not. Okay, on the back of this one, I think I used a glue dot, but this time I'm going to just stick some tape on there and put him nice and flat right there on the top. And then these two, I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of them. And attach them to my card. And they're going to be just popped up a little bit in front of that back one. And look how cute that is. Now for our greeting, I'm going to put a dimensional on one side, the side that's to the left. And then I'm going to put some adhesive, just a tape runner here on the right, because I want it to be flat or even, I don't know, I'm going to lay it right here. So my dimensional is over here because it falls off that piece of this piece. There, just do it like that. I can't even come up with the right words. Then I have those itty bitty little bling. I'm going to just slide those off and put those in the center of my flower here. And the Take a Pick tool is the perfect tool to use. Look how easy it is to get those little centers in the centers of my flowers. So there you go. So there's card number 2. Okay, let me bring all the cards back in so you can see all of them. Those were those 2. Here's the other one that I made. Oh, and here's this one. And then in your card, or in your packet, this was the card that I made you. So for Stamp Club, if you're interested in Stamp Club, like I said, it's 3 cards. We place a $30 order and then take turns taking the Hostess rewards. So this month, Jody gets the host rewards. If you have any questions, be sure and give me a call. Like I said, all of the ingredients, as soon as I'm finished here, I'll post this on my blog, and you can see everything that I used to make these cards on a list at the very bottom of the post. You just have to look in the search bar for Stamp Club. It should be easy to find. Of course, if you can't find it, you just let me know and I will help you. Alrighty, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.